Do you want to get really fit and therefore really fast if you're a runner? Or do you just want to start to feel a little bit better about yourself and be a little bit more energized and feel that you have a little bit more vitality to go about your life doing whatever activities you do? Well, if you do, this video might be the one for you. Over the past 2 years, I've been training. I've been a runner for 20 years, but over the past 2 years, I've been training to try and get myself fit enough to run a marathon PB at the age of 48. So I'm 48 now. So if you're younger than 40 or if you're older than 40 and you think it's all behind you, I'm here to tell you that that may not necessarily be true for you. So I started training specifically for a marathon PB 2 years ago. So I trained all the way through 2024 for the Valencia Marathon, and I came up just a little bit short. My personal best was 3:08, but I ended up getting 3:11. And then it was then after that race, then I decided straight away, I signed up for the following year, that I was going to implement certain things to come back this year. So I'm going to try that event again in 4 weeks' time, the Valencia Marathon. And I'm pretty sure now, the way training has went and the stuff that I've implemented over the last year, that barring a disaster, I should get a PB in that race. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the ideas between now and when I do that race in 4 weeks' time. I'm going to share with you, the listener, some of the ideas that I used, some of the training protocols that I used to get myself pretty much as fit as I've ever been at the age of 48. And that's not to say that I wasn't fit before. I've trained for marathons before. I've tried to run a sub 3 hour marathon, 10 years ago. So it wasn't that I only just started when I was 40, and I've been able to kind of not necessarily turn back the clock, but just get myself pretty fit. What I'm saying in this is that I have been pretty fit before, very fit, but I've managed to kind of exceed the fitness levels that I would have had when I was younger, to get myself pretty fit again, and like I said, in probably the best shape I've ever been in my life. So what I'm going to do is, for the next 4 weeks on YouTube, I will be going live on probably a Saturday morning. I have an Instagram account, I'll link it here, called Run Sensible on Instagram. So I'll post on there when I'm going live on YouTube. So I'll give people, good morning, how are you? I'll give people some time to like a lead into when I'm going to be going live. And on those live videos, I'll talk exactly about what the stuff is that I did that got myself really fit, and I'll explain everything. So if anybody out there is trying to get themselves fit, and it doesn't matter whether you're just trying to, you want to get into running, because the running channel is probably most likely what you're doing, or if you're just doing a little bit of cycling, you want to get a little bit better, or if you're into rock climbing or swimming or triathlon or whatever it is you do, if you're into dancing or I don't know, any activity, I'll share exactly the protocols that I use, and these go across all spectrums of life, and they will help you enormously. And one of the things that I did, that I will outline how I did it, I was on holidays in Mallorca back in the end of July, and I was 85 kilos. When I came back, it was all you can eat, all you can drink. I don't really drink a huge amount, but it was all you can eat, all you can drink. And when I came back from the holiday, it was 85 kilos. And now I'm just hovering just on the verge of around 80 kilos. So I've lost 5 kilos, and I didn't do any sort of calorie restricting at all to lose those 5 kilos. I'll explain again in the series, in those 4 weeks leading into Valencia. I'll do 4 live streams. I'll explain exactly how I lost weight without having to kind of watch my calories and counting my calories and making sure that I'm eating the right things. I eat pretty well, and that's a consequence of what I do, and I explain how you can start eating better by a consequence of what you do, how it can kind of transform across your life without you having to wake up on a Monday morning and say, right, I'm cutting out all these things out of my life and I'm going to add all these things, and then by Monday lunchtime you've fallen off the wagon and you're on your way to McDonald's. So I'll explain how I did that and how you can implement the protocols that I use to make yourself not only much fitter, but obviously much more healthy. I always say in my videos, my running always comes to the benefit of my health. So I'll never do anything in terms of trying to push myself to do something in running if I think that it's kind of might be a little bit unhealthy or whatever. Health is the thing that I think about first when I'm doing any sort of my training. So what I did in terms of changing my lifestyle is over the last 2 years, but specifically just this year, like over the 2 years I was trying to get myself as fit as I could, but over the last year I was really just thinking about my metabolic fitness, not just my cardiovascular fitness. So when I was younger, it was all just about cardiovascular fitness. Just get fit, just get fast. And I didn't really think a huge amount about health. But as I get a little bit older, that has something that has to come to the front of your mind, because one, my body wasn't responding quite like it was when I was younger to just go out and go hard and go home. And I realized that just doing the fitness training wasn't necessarily making me particularly healthy. So I had to start to adapt and change some things with my training. And like I said, they're the things that I'm going to outline in the live stream videos. So all I want you to do is, if this sounds like it's something that would interest you, if you have any questions about fitness or health, or what I did to get myself as fit as I've ever been at the age of 48, you can put a comment, you can put a question in the comments below, and I will cover every single comment that comes in. I'll cover them in the live stream. Like I said, I'll if you follow this channel, if you subscribe to this channel, you'll have the notification going up when the live stream is. I think it'll be 8 AM this Saturday, and that's GMT. So that's, I think most people watching this would either be Ireland or England, but if you're anywhere outside of that time zone, it'll be London time, so the time that is in Great Britain, 8 AM on Saturday morning. So this is the 13th, for the 15th of November. And if you don't make it if you come onto the live stream, you can put a question on the screen and I'll answer that in time. If you don't make the live stream, if you're watching this after the date, and you look down into the comments here and there's some interesting questions that you think you'd like to find out the answer to, you can go back. You don't have to watch the live stream live. It'll be there once it's recorded. It'll be uploaded and anybody can go back and watch it. And then each week for the 4 weeks, I'll develop that live stream, and then by the end of it, there should be 4 really good videos telling you exactly what you can do if you want to get yourself fitter, and if you want to get yourself healthier. And you probably will be, if you do the stuff I do, you'll certainly lose weight. But it's not, the way I went about losing my weight is I'm not the kind of person who could focus on saying, right, I'm going to just make all these drastic changes and stick to them. I just know my personality, the way I live my life, the things I do. If somebody put those constraints on me, I would last, like I said, until lunchtime, and then I'd literally throw all my toys out of the cart and just kind of go and self-sabotage. So I've managed to navigate my way through that, and I don't do that sort of stuff anymore. And like I said, I'll explain all that in the videos. So like I said, if that's something that interests you, stick a little comment below. It could be, any sort of question that what was my weekly training? What was my mileage? What did I do in terms of food? How did I go about losing the weight? Did the weight go down? Kind of, was there a big jump or a small jump, or did I do it? Whatever the questions are, I'll answer every single one of them. And I'll try and give context, not just the answer, but I'll try and give context in relation to myself. And I'll expand that context because obviously every individual is different. So if I think that something was kind of unique to me, I will try and broaden that out and just make sure that everybody understands it and can then start to implement that into their lifestyle in order to get them to get the benefits that I've got. And that's pretty much it for this video. I suppose this video is almost like a promo for the video that's going to come, which will be the live stream on Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. So the last thing to add is, if any themes or topics come up that I think are quite important, if anybody asks a question I think deserves kind of a lot of attention, I will cover it in the live stream, so it will be there, but I might then go on and do a specific video on that actual theme or topic, whatever that is. Like I said, if I think that it deserves a little bit more time or attention, or if I think that I can kind of broaden it out and make it worthwhile just to give a specific video to that, so I will do that as well. But anyway, that's pretty much it. The next time you see me will be on the live stream on Saturday morning, 8 AM. In the meantime, guys, you know what to do. Run far, run fast, most of all, run sensible.